Hey everyone, it is Cody here with How I See It, where I inspire you every day to see the world how I see it. Today I'm going to be making a cute arrangement utilizing a candy bowl that was in the Easter section at Walmart in 2025. And this is all plastic, the entire thing, and it was less than $5 for this bowl. And we're going to be making a fun arrangement out of it. So I saw this and I got home with it and I was like, oh my gosh, I never noticed when I purchased it that this top part will unscrew off like so. So then we're left with this little stand. So I'm gonna put the bowl aside and we can use this for another project later on, or it can just be a freestanding bowl, right? Super cute. I did show that you could use this as like a candle stand. So you could take a battery operated candle right here, and then you could put some moss around the outside of it, and I think it would be super cute, right? Let's go all the way around. Something different to do with that. But for the purposes of this video, I wanted to make a little arrangement on it. So I've cut me a small piece of floral foam, and I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna drop some hot glue on this. And then I'm just gonna stick that right onto that little topper there. And then I've got a variety of different florals here that we're going to be using. All of these came from Michael's. I've got some eucalyptus filler. I've got some tulips in a shade of my choosing. I chose cream and yellow. And then I've got a white-seeded greenery bush that is in the color of white. And that's what we're going to be using. So first, I'm going to start off with my tulips. So super budget-friendly project here for this. As you can always find these at low prices at Michael's. Now these tulip bushes here, they push up so we can make them as long or as short as we wish. So I'm going to push them up a little bit because I don't want this to be a very large arrangement. I'm going to go in and I'm going to start adding in my tulips. And the first one I'm going to add in is going to be the one that's going to be right in the center. And this is going to kind of gauge how tall my arrangement is going to be. So I kind of like it this height, I believe. So nothing too tall and crazy. About the same height as our base that we're using is how tall up we're going to go. So if you look, we've got about this much of our base, so then we're going to go up about that far, or just a little tiny bit more for our arrangement. I'm going to slide one over here on this corner, and then I'm going to come over onto this corner and slide in another one. So I've kind of went in a row here, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other corner. One here. And I am chopping these down with my wire snips as I go, should I need them to be any shorter. Just like that. So you can see we've got almost a little pattern going on there with 5 of those inserted in. So then I'm going to take my hot glue, and I like to go through and drop a little drop of glue everywhere where I've placed one of these tulips at. Then I'm going to go in and fill in the other spaces. So now I'm going to come towards the front and put one in there. I'm still kind of keeping it up a little bit. I'm not coming straight out or down because I don't want to block my bunny. And then I'll come back here to the back with another. And I'll do the same thing. Drop in just a little bit of glue. Super duper cute. All right, next I'm going to go ahead. If we want to add more tulips later, we absolutely can, but I want to go in with my eucalyptus bush now. And I'm going to trim off this entire thing. This one was from Michael's as well. Always like to stock up on my greeneries and things when we can. All right, and these come in a variety of different lengths on here, but we can always trim them down should we need to, because I can see that like this is going to be way too tall. So this isn't a bush where I can push the pieces up and down. So I'm just going to trim them smaller to make them the length that I want. And then I can just stick right in there. And then I'm just going to fill in the spaces in between all of the tulips up on the top. trim this one down smaller as well. Just like so. Insert that in there. And then once I get all of these where I like them placed, I can go through and I can start gluing these in also. I'm just squirting in some glue all down into that foam. Okay, and I do have a few more pieces to add in as well. Or you can always stop whenever you wish. If you feel like it's full enough, then by all means, you can leave it as such. And as it starts getting a little fuller, sometimes I place my glue before I insert my stem in. You can also use a glue pot if you have one of those, but for me, I know it's more convenient to use a glue gun. More people have those, and I feel like I have more control over my glue if I use the glue gun. That's just me. I encourage you to find what works for you when you are designing as well. Just the tiniest little bit of hot glue will do. And I'm inserting these into the foam just far enough so that I hear that foam crunch. Once I hear that foam crunch, I know that it's in there far enough. Look how cute and adorable that is. We got one more little piece, so let's pop that one in there too, just so we don't waste anything. Look how cute. So adorable. Now I did grab this white bush here, so let's see if we want to add any of these in. I do think this is a great stopping point though, with just that, like that. So let's grab this one as well. This one was from Michael's. Let's see if we can cut this apart. And if we want to add in any of these as well. So I might have to cut them down into threes so that we just have little bits of white to add in. Inserting that down into the foam. Nothing too crazy. There's so many different possibilities for this, different color combinations. Let me know down below in the comments what color combo you may do if you were to create this. Like, what would you make? I love the tulip since it's a little Easter bunny down there. There's so many different color combinations that you could use. I definitely want to go get more of these bowls now because there's so many things we could use them for. So cute. All right, just like that. I don't want to add any more, I don't think. Well, maybe I need one more over here on this side to balance out. So let's see. So you don't always have to use the full bush. If you're like, I feel like there's enough happening already. I usually try to use the full floral bush. That way I don't have just a couple of little pieces laying around. But if you feel like your design is full enough, it's to your liking, then by all means. Okay, super stinking cute. And the last thing I'm going to do is I've got some foam showing here on the sides. So that moss that I showed earlier, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to take a couple pieces. I'm going to drop me some hot glue just up in here on that foam. Then I'm just going to take me some and just squish, squish, squish that into there. Just to kind of blend that edge. And I like to use this type of moss so that it kind of melts over the side. I think it's really pretty for springtime. Of course, Always use what you like, right? One more little piece. And here. Like so. Look how stinking adorable. So cute. I hope you guys love this and it's inspired you to get creative. Make sure you guys are, of course, following along on my page. Clicking the like button, clicking the follow button, dropping a comment down below, and saving and sharing this video for later. Hope you guys love this. Y'all be kind to one another, and I'll be seeing y'all soon. Bye, y'all.